What is up, everyone? JD here. Hope you're doing well today. Got a review for you. Let's get into it. All right, got a new variant from Kizer in this week. I've been checking out a couple of variants that they've offered for knives that are popular in their inventory, and I think this one's pretty cool as well. So we're going to be looking at the Kizer Chili Pepper. Really interesting take on the chili pepper here, but what we're going to do before we get into all that is we're going to do some size comparison, we're going to weigh it, and then we'll go ahead and jump into thoughts and impressions. So let's go ahead and bring out a budget knife. We're going to bring out the Miguron Moriarl, and we're going to bring out the Civivi Amorite. So you can see the chili pepper is actually a small knife, not very big at all. These last few ones that came in from Kizer definitely are much smaller. Let's bring out the Spyderco Para 3 Lightweight, which is going to be comparable to your Rat 2. Definitely going to be more in line with the size of this particular model. So much smaller. It's going to be a lightweight carry. It's going to be a companion carry for some. Here it is against the Spyderco Shaman. Really cool to see those two scales out on the table. Shaman's comparable to your PM2 and your Rat 1. Let's check out the profile on this one. I'm very curious to see because it does have slightly contoured scales. Yeah, so coming in just a little bit thicker than your Para 3 Lightweight, and then let's check it out against the Moriarl, but coming in a little bit thinner than your Moriarl. As far as how it carries in the pocket, this one's going to be a real shallow carry. I'm sorry, not a shallow carry. It's going to be a very deep carry, but it's going to ride shallow in the pocket. So it's going to go in the furthest of all of these on the table, but it's going to not go in as deep as these. So it's going to take up the least amount of space in the pocket. So that could appeal to some folks out there. Let's check the weight on this one really quick. See what this button lock is coming in at. Hello. There we go. Normally this cuts right on. I don't even have to try real hard. So just over 3 ounces, coming in at 3.1. That is a little disappointing. I wanted this to come in a little bit lighter than that, but 3 ounces, truth be told, is not very heavy at all. Okay, so just some quick cutting. It is a pass round. Shout out to Lefty. We really appreciate you letting us check this out on the channel. So first and foremost, we're going to talk about the ergos on this one. This one here was very disappointing for me because it is a small knife. It is 3.5 fingers, but it also curves into the pinky, so I almost land directly on top of this pocket clip. This pocket clip is definitely digging into the pinky. I noticed it right away when I went to cut with this one, so a little disappointed in that because the contour pushes it right into that pinky. I felt that immediately. Now, if you're careful with this one, you could choke up slightly here, which would mean for someone with larger hands, your index is going to hang off the back a little bit there, but it will get the pinky over here. It'll get it from underneath that pocket clip and make it a little bit more of a comfortable carry. It is just going to feel a little weird here because you're not going to feel like your inside of your index finger and the outside of your middle finger are going to be supported by carrying it that way or holding it that way. But in this position, it's very comfortable to use. The blade has a very thin stock on it. This one coming in S90V, black washed blade. So really nice finish on here. I do wish, actually, is this just DLC? This is just DLC. I wish they would have black washed it. Just a plain DLC on here. I do love that they blacked out the hardware to match. It's in a very spicy, toxic fat carbon. This is not the Chinese knockoff. This is actually fat carbon, and it is their toxic. So the green and yellows on here, very cool and very well done. The contouring on here feels good. The liners line up perfectly with the scales themselves. The button doesn't protrude. The button lock doesn't have hardly any stick. It feels a little grabby. No side-to-side play. No up and down. I don't interact with that button lock at all. Let me try left-handed. No interaction with that button lock at all. So good job recessing that, and then it is a push all the way in order to close it. The detent on this feels a little hit or miss, so sometimes it feels like right there, it feels very stout. And then there's other times I go to deploy it and it feels like it didn't lock up securely. So I don't know if that's because when it bounces, I'm not letting it come to a full rest, but I do notice that on occasion. I would say when I know that it's locked, right there, I let it lock. It feels fine. The front flipper has really good jimping on it. This one has that tight, aggressive jimping on there, so I do like that a lot because it makes sure that even if I go up too high by accident, it's going to grip onto the thumb without issue whatsoever. It is a little awkward with that contoured scale to do the roll, but the reach around because of that contoured scale actually works really well. I'm in a great spot for that. I don't know what type of bearings we got on here. I forgot to check those. Let's see if we can see. Oh yeah, you can see the reflection there. You do have stamped ceramic bearings in there instead of the caged. You guys know I like the cage a little bit better because it makes it feel a little bit solid, but there's no side-to-side play on this one. It's locked up for sure. I do like the anodized green thumb studs on the black here. I feel like this whole thing, they just nailed this one. You got the black carbon fiber behind the greens and the yellows for the toxic. You got the blacked out hardware to kind of bring that black out, and then you got a little bit of the green there on the thumb to get that in, so that works really well. You do have a fold over pocket clip. I think it's titanium. My only complaint about this one is they put it on top of the scale, and on top of the scale you can see how close that pocket clip comes to the part that mounts to the scale. That does catch. I've had that catch going in and out of the pocket and get hung up on there. Going in, no issues coming out, just going in, it does catch on that. They did at least put the flat screws that are nested into the pocket clip, but I think they needed to do just a little bit more space on that. The nice thing about this one is I think Kizer offers their other titanium pocket clip separate. I think you can buy those separately. I just don't know because I believe it's a little bit thicker. I don't know if it fit on here. So that is one thing to take into consideration. If not, you can get the Civivi style pocket clip. Looks kind of like the one that comes on the Montreal, and you can do that black one and just put it on there. I think that would be a nice little upgrade to this one. But overall, they did a really good job. I like the sounds on this too. Check the sounds out. It has almost a ting. It's not quite a ting, but it almost has a ting to it. So that is really interesting. All of this, which I think is a phenomenal package, is coming in for 160 bucks. You're getting S90V, you're getting steel liners, but you're getting toxic fat carbon scales on top of the steel liners, which is really nice. I think, yeah, steel pivot, which I am not surprised at all. It's, you know, at this price point, that's totally acceptable. And definitely getting some steel hardware there, but the pocket clip is titanium. Truth be told, that doesn't bother me that much because it's coated to match. I do like when Kizer does coat their hardware versus doing that polished hardware. I think that kind of cheapens the knife a little bit because it looks the same as what you would find on like a $30 sin cut. So this is really well done, really nice for this price point. I think it is very interesting, especially if you have the medium-sized hands. Now, if you don't, and you don't like button locks, I'm going to steer you towards the Militaw. I know the Militaw with the purple haze is really hard to get, but the regular Militaw is rotated in fairly often. There's also some exclusive variants of the Militaw that are going to be coming to White Mountain knives. I don't know if you've been on there lately to check, but they have a couple of different colored denim micarta variants that they're offering on the Militaw, and I really like that. It's a little bit bigger. Ergonomically, it's a little bit nicer. As far as button locks, you know, there's a lot of them out there. The Civivi Elementum button lock, which is still going to be a 3-finger knife for me at this size and price point. Not this price point, I'm sorry. It's actually going to be a $65 knife versus this being $160. But You can get the premium cubit from Wheat. I think that one's really well done, but that's all titanium. That would be another alternative recommendation that I think is fairly close in price point to this, but it's going to give you titanium hardware instead of steel hardware, so that will bump that price up a little bit. But this is a really cool knife, especially if you have medium to large hands. I think this will work for you, especially those medium hands. But let me know what you think about the chili pepper down in the comments below, and shout out to everyone that watched to this point. Helps the algorithm. Thanks to everyone out there for leaving a like, commenting. Make sure you're subscribed and have that notification bell turned on. And a special thank you to the channel members. That extra support is greatly appreciated. I love you guys. I hope you have a fantastic week. Until next time, peace.